Hello and welcome to Wisdom Bites. Hope you're well. Thank you once again for joining us. Very much appreciated. This is going to be one of my most exciting videos as I'm going to focus mainly on Ethereum and why it's an incredibly exciting time to be invested with Ethereum. So I'm going to look at what's just happened with Ethereum on the monthly chart and what we can expect with Ethereum in the coming weeks and months. There is a word of caution as well in the charts, as we need to keep our balance as well as keep the emotions out of it. I'll also look at the Ethereum versus the Bitcoin dominance chart, showing exactly where we're at and where we're heading in the next few weeks and months. If I get a little time, I'll also show you some of the targets for Bitcoin by looking at some of the monthly pivots. I've been showing you these for the many months now and show you exactly why they're so accurate. And we'll see exactly what the monthly pivots, as we've now just hit into February, I can show you the monthly pivots for February. So if that sounds interesting, then without further ado, get your popcorn, sit yourself down, and let's get cracking. And as usual, before we begin, I'll give you the polite reminder that I'm not a financial advisor and everything in this video is for educational purposes only. Please do your wider research before making any investment decisions. So with that out of the way, we'll start off with the most exciting chart in the history of crypto at this moment, and that is the Ethereum monthly chart. Okay, as you probably know, if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I've been showing you Ethereum more and more over the last few months, only because the chart is an amazing chart, which is actually telling us that this asset is going to be on a charge here. Now, I mentioned about a couple of videos ago that once Ethereum breaks this point here, and I'll draw it for you, if you take it from the bodies of the candle, this is where it closed, its all-time high, the bodies of the candle in January 2018. And if we draw a line there, I said in the previous videos that once Ethereum breaks this neckline here with a weekly or a monthly candle above this line, we will be going to the races. We will more than double within 3 weeks. And I base that on the fact that this is what happened with Bitcoin. If we looked at Bitcoin, once it broke its previous all-time high around here, as you can see, basically within 3 to 4 weeks, it doubled in price from where we were to 40,000 once we broke up here. Similar things are going to happen to Ethereum as far as I can see. This is what the charts are telling me. So now that we've broken up with a monthly candle, the January candle just closed above the previous all-time high. There is a saying in the crypto world as well as the stocks and shares world that show me a high and I'll show you a buy. And for me anyway, everybody has to make up their own decisions, what have you. But in the last couple of months, I've been switching quite a lot of my positions from Bitcoin to Ethereum. And I've done really well simply by doing that. And I've been focusing more and more on the Ethereum with you. But the greater excitement and the greater growth is just about starting to take shape. So what I'm expecting is that Ethereum will now quickly run up past the doubling of this price here. And this was 1430. So I'm expecting anywhere between 2.5 to 3.5. It could go even much further than that very quickly. So this is the exciting news, really. If you're invested with Ethereum like I am, you've got a very exciting 2 to 3 months ahead of you. We don't know where it's going to go. As you know, my target is up here, 21,450. This is going to be achieved, as far as I can see, from what I can see in the charts, at the end of the bull market with Bitcoin. When that tops off, Ethereum may go on a little bit longer, as it did in the previous bull market in 2017-18. So we don't know where it's going to go to, but I've given you these targets for a long time now. I have absolutely no reason to doubt that these targets will not be met. So I'm still expecting a target of 21,450 sometime during 2021. So let's wait and see. Having said that, there are a few cautions I need to bring to your attention as well, because we need to be always balanced. We always need to take the emotion out of it. Yes, it's very, very exciting to see that, but in the short term, there may be a few snakes lurking around, and one of the snakes is obviously, as I mentioned to you before, there is this cup and handle. There's the cup. Having formed the cup, we haven't yet formed the handle. Will we form the handle at this point, or will we go further up and then form the handle? Only time will tell. If you're a long-term investor like I am, it really doesn't matter. All we need to know is that, yes, these things will happen. These things are designed to shake you out of the market. And we always have to sit tight. And that's the most difficult thing to do in investments. People want to meddle in. They want to get in there. They think they find an opportunity and they hear something and they say, all right, I should do this and then I should do that. Then they go in and out of positions. And unfortunately, they lose a lot of money along the way. So for me, the best thing we can do is to sit tight. Yes, if it comes back down and then goes up, that's fine. This is a very, very bullish pattern. And I want to refer you to this pattern by looking at what this really means. So if we look at the cup and handle, it says quite clearly here, a cup and handle is a technical chart pattern. Here we are. This is the cup and this is the handle. It's exactly what we're forming. This is a classic cup and handle pattern that we're forming with Ethereum currently. So a cup and handle is a technical chart pattern that resembles a cup and handle where the cup is in the shape of a U, this is that bit there, and the handle has a slight downward drift, which is this bit there. A cup and handle is considered a bullish signal extending an uptrend. So we're on an uptrend here and it's going to extend that and is used to spot opportunities to go long. Now, as you can see, this is a classic cup and handle. So will we form it now or a little bit later? I think with us just breaking the monthly candle, there is a very much a higher probability that we're going to go much higher first and then we're going to have this correction. And people always ask, what is the level of correction that we can expect? Well, if you look at the Fibonacci retracement, that will give you a very strong clue as to where the maximum amount of this can be. What we do is we take the lowest price here and stretch it all the way up to wherever the actual correction is. So if the correction is correct currently now, let's say it goes now, then this, as we know, both Ethereum and Bitcoin has an affinity towards the 61.8 level here. Now, if we had a correction now, the maximum we would expect it to go down to would be to this level here, the 61.8, and that would be around the 600 level. Now that seems very, very drastic, but I can assure you it can easily happen with both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it may well be that we form a handle down here and then before we go off to the races. It may not do that, of course. With the strength of the market, the strength of the bulls in the market for both Ethereum and Bitcoin, we can see that it may come back down to the 0.5 level or 38.2 level at 970 or around 800. So please be aware these things can happen. And because people who are new to the market, they find these price levels really, very difficult to stomach, and they then get out of the market and they get shaken out. That's exactly what you don't want to do. So just be aware of it. I just want to bring that to your attention that this is the case at the moment. If you want to support the channel, then please click on any of my videos, and then below the videos you'll find a box called Show More, which gives you a description box, and in that description box is the affiliate link with Etoro that I have. So I partner up with Etoro because that's the main exchange I use for all my investments. These are the reasons why I tend to use Etoro. It's a very simple exchange to use in terms of depositing money and withdrawing the money, as well as trading if that's what you want to do, as well as for long-term investing, which is what I tend to do. So if you want to support the channel, please click on the partnership link, and then what you'll do is you'll get this box here, and then you can basically put your username, email and password and just fill in the form there. If you like any of my videos and you find value in them, then please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I also want to bring to your attention the greed and fear index for Ethereum. If we look on the weekly chart and type in simple crypto, you can take this one here, the simplified crypto fear and greed display, and then you'll find that you'll get this chart here. And if you can see quite clearly, we're on the extreme greed. So we've been in the extreme greed now for quite a while, and the market has still kept going up. So it doesn't mean that it's imminent that we're going to fall, but it does tell you that we are quite overbought and quite overstretched. Can we go further up and then fall down? Yes, we can. Or can we fall now and then go up? Yes, we can. So everybody has to make up their own mind, whatever your timelines are for investments. Like I say, here at Wisdom Bites, you'll know from what I've said in the past with all my videos over the last year and a half, I'm a long-term investor. It doesn't really matter if we come back even to 300 or 400. I'm sure it won't happen that way, but even if it does, I'm holding tight because I know that the next 6 months are going to be extremely exciting, and we're going to meet our target up here of 21,450. So we are going to get these distractions along the way in terms of corrections. So we just need to ride them out. That's what we've got to do. Even on the daily chart, you'll see that there's extreme greed there. So in the short term and in the medium term, there is this, extreme greed signal that's showing us that we are overbought. But that's what we've had for Bitcoin as well for quite a while, and we've still kept going up. So let's wait and see. But it's just a word of caution that we need to be always aware. But the exciting news is that even if you look at the pattern here, I don't know if you've probably noticed this, we were forming an ascending triangle here. Now that is an extremely bullish pattern, because what it's saying is that at every higher low that we made, we were coming up to a resistance level which was at the same price, and that formed the ascending triangle. And the ascending triangle is a very, very bullish pattern. As you can see with these charts here, it says quite clearly the ascending triangle is a bullish continuation pattern and is characterized by a rising lower trend line and a flat upper trend line that acts as support. This pattern indicates that buyers are more aggressive than sellers as price continues to make higher lows. So as I said just now, we've been making these higher lows. We've got these flat levels of resistance. So this ascending triangle has just broken through, and now we're off to the races. So I can expect in the next few weeks, this is what I'm expecting. It doesn't mean it's going to be definite. Obviously, anything can happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I'm now expecting what happened with Bitcoin, and that is we should double up within 3 to 4 weeks with Ethereum. So this neckline was at around 1,370. And I'm expecting that to go to 2,600 in the first instance and much higher later on. We're in this trajectory now, and we're moving toward our parabolic phase. And I just want to show you the comparison between Ethereum and Bitcoin. I've shown you this many times, but the main thing to take away from this is that in the previous bull market, this was the formation that was forming between Ethereum and Bitcoin. And as soon as we broke out this formation, look what happened with Ethereum against Bitcoin. It had a very high increase from around here, where it broke out, to the top. It actually outperformed Bitcoin by 11 times, 1,172%. So it went up 11 times greater than Bitcoin. Now, if you look at the timelines, very, very important to look at the timeline. It topped out here. Can you see this? It topped out here at this candle. And this candle is, if you look at the bottom here, was in June 2017. Now, the end of the bull market for Bitcoin was December 2017. So that was 6 months before Ethereum topped out against Bitcoin. And then Bitcoin did far better, and Ethereum went lower in comparison to Bitcoin. So what this tells you is that in the last 12 months of the bull market, the first phase of it, the first 3 to 6 months, Ethereum will do far better than Bitcoin. And in the last portion, the last 3 to 6 months, Bitcoin will take over. I mentioned a few videos ago that I was going to be buying a lot more of the Ethereum. I'm loading up here because this is what I'm expecting it to do. So obviously we've now done that. We've met our first target that I set many videos ago at 0.03, and I think at the time it was 0.023. So it's now gone to 0.03, and then the next target was 0.4. We've just hit that target, and we have the next target, which I've set here for many weeks now, at 0.05. And our longer term target in a few months' time is this one here, 0.0715. And our ambitious target, which I mentioned in the last video, was 0.130. If it was to go to that level, from where we are now, it would outperform, i.e. that's Ethereum would outperform from where we are now, if we got to the ambitious target, by twice as much, so 206%. That would be absolutely wonderful to be able to do that. So just keep a lookout on this chart. If you want to get this chart, just go to the Ethereum Bitcoin chart here. So you just need to type in ETHBTC and you'll get the chart on the trading view. And this chart will pop up. So this is where we're at. Again, we've just now broken from this neckline. As you can see, there was a lot of support here, support there, resistance. And then we came up to this again as resistance. And then we had resistance again in the last month. And now we've just broken through in February. So let's see where it takes us. But it's certainly very exciting times for Ethereum against Bitcoin as well. A quick look at Bitcoin and to see where the targets we can see for Bitcoin in the next few weeks by the end of this month. Now, as you know, I use these pivots on a regular basis now. The way to get these pivots is to type in, if you type in pivots in the indicators box, you'll get this pivot points standard. If you click on that, you'll get this pivots traditional monthly here. If you turn them on, then you'll get this chart here. I've been using these CPR pivots as targets for the month, and we've just got the February pivots that's just come through yesterday. And what we can see here is that for the past 9 months, we've met our R1 lines. If you look over here in January, we met our R1 line and the R2 line. And I thought that we would go to the R3, which we didn't do. So I missed that target there. But if you look at the December, we met the R1, R2, and R3. And then if you look at November, this is the November one here, it came back up to the R1 line there. And then in October, we met the R1 line here and R2 line there. Not quite got the R3 line. So generally speaking, virtually in every one of the months, I think there was only one month where we didn't meet the R1. That was September. So if you look at the September one, we never came to the R1 line here. That's the only one over the last 9 months we didn't meet. So the chances are, the higher probability is that we're going to meet this target of R1, and that is currently at $40,000, $40,800. So I'm fully expecting that. Although in the last video I said that with the shooting star monthly candle that I showed you that closed on January a few days ago, this shooting star tells you that we're more than likely going to go sideways and perhaps a little bit down, or maybe a little bit up as well. But it doesn't tell us that there's a lot of bullishness in the market, because with the long wick, it's quite clear that the bears have been able to push the price right down to the body of the candle here. So this is a shooting star, which is on the whole, a bearish candle. So it may well be we go sideways and perhaps down a little bit or slightly up a little bit, but not very much in a bullish fashion in the next month or so. So with that in mind, the shooting star, this is more or less going sideways anyway. So 40,000 looks like a very achievable target for February. I don't think R2 is going to be met. Although it's there, the target is there at 48,300. So It's unlikely to get to the R3 and the R4 level, but certainly the R1 target, 40,000, is a very good target to have for the month of January. Let's wait and see what happens, but this is where we're at with Bitcoin currently. Before I go, I mentioned what I was going to do in the next 12 to 18 months, and I showed you this chart that there's only 2 decisions to make between now and the next 12 to 18 months, and that is basically when to get off anywhere around here when we get the pi cycle chart that I showed you before. Before we wrap up, I just want to revisit the chart that I showed you a couple of videos ago when I was trying to say to people that there is only 1 or 2 decisions to make between now and the next 18 months. And that for me anyway, and like I said, it's not financial advice. Everybody has to do what they feel is the right thing for them in terms of their own risk-reward ratio, their own strategy, etc., etc. But I was telling you exactly what I was thinking of doing, and that is that between where we are now and our target of 300,000 and anywhere around here, these 2 lines, this is the pi cycle, the 111 daily moving average, the orange line, and the green line, which is the 350 daily moving average. As I showed you in the past, whenever they cross, that's where the top of the cycle is, as you can see there. And here as well, the pi cycle, wherever they cross, that's where the top of the market is, etc., etc. I showed you that about 2 videos ago. And the reason why I mention this again is that it is very, very difficult to sit tight with all the hype and all the emotion in the market, as well as if you're like most people out there who are invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the other cryptocurrencies, watching these prices go up, for some reason it wants to suck you into the market to make some decisions, either to sell or to sell and then buy back later on. You thinking that it's going to go lower and then you can buy back. It does that all the time. But that was actually the time around here to actually accumulate as much as you could. And we tried to do that, and I did a lot of accumulation around these points here. But once it broke this line here, and we put those red channels, if you remember, and once we broke those red channels, we were in a different phase of the market. This is not the phase of the market to actually mess around with, as far as I can see. Everybody has to come to their own conclusions. I'm only giving you from my own experience that this phase, this pre-parabolic and parabolic phase of the market that we're entering here, is not the right time to meddle around with the market. And I want to refer you to some of the greatest traders of all time. If you go to Google and type in the greatest stock traders of all time, you'll get the world's 10 most famous traders of all time. Number 1 is Jesse Livermore. You may have come across him. Quite a few of the YouTubers tend to mention his name, but there's many others as well. But let me just tell you about Jesse Livermore. If we look at one of Jesse Livermore's famous quotes, his strategy was always to sit tight, not to delve too much into the market. And he says quite clearly here, "It never was my thinking that made the big money for me. It always was my sitting." Got that? My sitting tight. It is no trick at all to be right on the market. You always find lots of early bulls in bull markets and early bears in bear markets. I've known many men who were right at exactly the right time and began buying or selling stocks when prices were at the very level which should show the greatest profit. And their experience invariably matched mine. That is, they made no real money out of it. Men who can both be right and sit tight are uncommon. And this is the reason why most people will lose money in Bitcoin, because it's very uncommon to be right. We're all right in being able to be invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's the right bit. But what's uncommon is sitting tight along this way here. So if you can, this is not financial advice because everybody has their own strategy, their own risk-reward ratio. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm only telling you what I'm doing. This period here, up to our target of 300,000 is a period to sit tight. when we see these two lines cross, wherever they are, here, here, or here, we get out of the market. That's the time. Just like a burning house, you want to get out of there. These two lines, as soon as the orange line crosses above the green line, wherever that is along here, you want to get out. And then the time to rebuy back, as I said before, is at the bear market bottom. And I showed you quite clearly through the 200 weekly moving average where the bear market bottom is going to be. Every time we hit the 200 weekly average, that is usually the bottom of the market, as you can see here. Every time throughout history, if you look here, these were always the best times. So what I'm suggesting is that once we get out anywhere along here, the best time is to save your money, knowing that this 200 moving average, can you see the trajectory where it's going? It's already going towards there. So we're going to be going up here, anywhere around there, topping off, coming back, and we're going to hit this anywhere along here. And that would be the great time to buy in. So there's only two decisions to make. Like Jesse Livermore says quite clearly, it is very uncommon to sit tight. That's when you really make the most amount of money. Can we do it? Well, I hope we all can. I hope you found value in this video. Then please remember to like and subscribe and to turn on the notification bell. And if you want to leave any comments, questions or suggestions, and you want to share anything with the rest of the Wisdom Bites community, then please leave them in the comments below. Until the next time, take care, stay safe. Bye for now.